The poem "I Had Been Hungry All the Years", written in a hymn of ballad verse, reinforces the problematic paradox of individuality versus conformity, and the persona's constant struggle to determine her relationship with the world.
In the first line, Dickinson uses a conception metaphor of hunger to emphasise the yearning she possesses to belong to society. The past particle, had, implies that the poet has found a way to suppress or satisfy this hunger.
The use of the word noon shows how the persona has been granted an opportunity to satisfy this hunger, and this is a turning point in her life.
The syntactical inversion of "I trembling drew the table near" emphasises the conflicting emotions of anticipation and fear, as the persona wishes satiate her starvation and connect with the word that will prove sustenance in the form of ample bread and curious wine. This clear illusion of the Eucharist highlights feasting biblically.
The first line of the second stanza has the use of the symbolic table, implying the promises of belonging to society are artificially elevated on a man-made creation.
In the line "When turning hungry home", Dickinson is depicting her position in society, isolated and searching to no avail for the belonging she so desperately hungers for. Throughout the poem, the metonym of hunger is used to embody her desire for wealth and acceptance, as if it's something she must satiate.
I looked in windows for the wealth. In this line, Dickinson emphasises on the barriers that exist between her sphere of existence and that of society. The wealth depicted in this line is another metonym for the purported benefits of socialisation. However, the window ironically allows her to see in without being able to enter, creating barriers to belonging.
The high modality language of "could not" shows how she cannot find this belonging, highlighting that this is no longer the purpose and pattern of her life.
The aspect of belonging represented in the third stanza is that of belonging to nature.
The first line includes the recurring religious allusions of the Eucharist. The bread is freely given to those who accept it in society and for those who believe. The second line, Dickinson shows her favouritism towards the frugal image of crumb. It is more meaningful as it allows for individual testing of one's self-control. Dickinson insists on living off the crumbs that fall off the table. She desires to find a belonging, and reality in turn sit at the table.
The birds and I had often shared. This provokes the natural imagery of the bird and shows how this is an abstemious natural lifestyle. The birds here are a representation of living in freedom on the outskirts of society.
The last line of the stanza shows the image of nature's dining room is offered as an alternative to the dining room of man and the dining room of religion.
The fourth stanza conveys her challenging relationship to belonging. The first line, "Plenty hurt me, 'twas so new," portrays feelings of alienation and intrusion. The plenty refers to the lavish feast of social interaction, but its conflation with the use of hurt suggests an incongruence, an unfamiliar situation, potentially harming.
Mid-stanza, the monosyllable descriptions, ill and odd, show how belonging has an ability to diminish Dickinson and simplify her.
This motif of incongruence is furthered in the last two lines of the stanza, when the mountain bush that grows from the berry is transplanted to the road. It similarly emphasises the unnaturalness of social belonging.
How a naturalistic creature, herself, has been grafted into a man-made perspective, road to life. But beyond that, it raises questions of insecurity and questions regarding permanence, just as one ponders on the incapacity of a plant to grow on a road.
This stanza is now proclaimed in an almost victorious, triumphant tone, revealing the emotions of the poet where she finally overcomes her angst. She is celebrating her victory over an existentialist anguish, and being able to persevere through the temptations of society and religion. In the first line, "I found," draws attention to her own intuition and away from some revealed truth. She claims to be the originator of truth.
The diction of "way" draws our attention to the artificial, synthetic reality of social belonging. She extends this to the desire to belong. This symbolism of a window represents the bridge or passage into the realm of social belonging, but only provides a glimpse, not direct access. The last line is most ambiguous. If the entering takes away the hunger, then this implies that Dickinson has entered into society, since her hunger is overcome. However, the entirety of the poem is about how she resisted the urge to enter society.
In order to sustain the argument and maintain the coherence of the poem, it is possible that, written into the subtext of the last stanza, the poet intended to write that hunger was a way of persons outside windows who believe that the entering takes away. This insertion maintains the integrity of the poem. This emphasises that the actual idea of belonging with society is overrated, as the quote goes, the entering takes away.
With all these devices used, it is clear the poem uses hunger as a metaphor about belonging, saying if you fit in, your hunger will be satisfied, but if you don't fit in, you are left with an emptiness that needs filling.